windy and wet, rainy day. So I thought, what can I do for some content? Well, I thought we'd go over the team drill, team impact thing. There's no point in having teams or anything like that because each one has its purpose. Each one's going to have its use. It all depends on your situation, conditions, and what you're using. Now, impact, it's going to be great for these screws like this. Anything 10 inches, quarter inch and smaller, 10 inches and shorter. It's going to be good fine for this stuff. And when you're using these things, most of the time you're going to use them as in timber work, which means you're going to be in high positions where you have a high risk of falling. So you're always going to want to keep one hand free for bracing yourself or catching yourself. Your drill is not always going to be a one-handed tool. It's going to be a two-handed tool a lot of times. When you're using this, you got to make sure that you are secure and ready for the torsional force that it's going to give off. Be prepared for it. Now, I already know what's going to win because I've been here, done that before. I know which one's going to do what and which one's going to be the better option. But none of that. I'm also going to tell you, if you work with all soft lumber like red cedar, spruce, pine, like new growth fir, a drill or an impact, they're both going to work just perfectly fine. But you don't need to go out and buy the biggest, fastest, strongest. Because the real secret is 90% of these fasteners, you should not be going over 800 RPM and driving them anyways. Most of the manufacturers request that you use in between 6 to 800 RPM to prevent superheating the fastener and the material, not damaging the fastener, less shots of cam out, and less test of everything. So I will do a couple tests of the drill on high speed just to please you guys. But most of the tests are going to be done in low speed, which on the Metabo is the perfect speed for driving. Like I said, you don't always need the biggest thing. If you're working with softwoods, go for the lightest, the most powerful, lightest tool that you can get. Okay, you're going to want the most power and the most compact, lightest size. So you need a high torque, compact drill, and you want to be team drill, go that route. You don't need the big boys all the time. When you're most of you guys aren't driving fasteners any bigger than this little 6-inch. Okay. Like most of you guys aren't driving anything bigger than that. So you don't really need a huge, powerful monster. Like an M12 will do these things perfectly fine. Okay. So now we're establishing which tools you're going to want to get. The only time that you need to go for the big things is if you're going to be doing really big stuff with some really heavy and dense materials and hard materials. But I'm not going to be using soft wood today. I'm going to be using engineered material. And I've got a big chunky yellow cedar. These are things that when we're doing timber framework and high impact structural work, these are the materials that we work with on the job site. We're not putting fence posts together with these things. And like we do use them in deck situations, stuff like that, but not always on now. So shall we begin? Let us play first. We're going to go with and we're going to start with, let's go with a 10-inch, okay? And we'll put the torques in there. We'll start with the drill. Engineered material. And now remember, if you can get a tool that can drive 90% of the fasteners that you can one-handed, you're going to be safer and you're going to be better off. And you want at least amount of force and energy required from your body to put these fasteners in. Now, drills are great, but they require energy from your body, a lot more than your impact. But you're going to see why. There's like where you're going to make your decision. Now, I got a big old screw. I'm going to put some weight on my material here. I'm going to start it in. I'm going to put it in high and see what happens. Okay. Okay, it cammed out. Okay. So now I've got apply force. Oh, and I had to hold that with two hands. And I had to use my leg here. You saw my leg kicking in to that brace to it, right? Oh, drove that puppy home. Okay. Now there's a lot of torque and that went in fast. But it's also smoking. That's no good. I don't want my fasteners to be smoking. Okay, so let's go with low torque. Put it into low. Okay, and your material low. Going to put just downward force. Not going to put any torsional force on it. Now with that one, I had to put less torsional force in. I had more control, and you notice less camo. It was a good, steady, constant speed that wasn't allowing the fastener to overheat. And I was also able to do it one-handed for the better part. Okay, so pretty dang good on that one. Okay. So we know the outcome of the drill on that fastener. Okay, that's a 10 inch. Let us grab another 10 inch. And let's do the impact this time. Let's see what happens with the impact. Now you notice I had to stand up to do that one with the drill because of force and downward force. Now the impact, same fastener, going into the same material. Okay, you're going to start it, hold it with one hand loosely. Okay, it was not as fast. It was noisy as hell, but you should be wearing your ear protection on the job site all the times anyway, so that noise shouldn't really make a difference. But you notice I was doing it right hand. I was holding real loosely the same way I always hold the impact. My tools like this. And I was really only holding with the palm of my hand, my thumb, and my trigger finger. That's all that was really bracing. And I wasn't putting a whole lot of downward force. As you can see, I was sitting down, driving. It wasn't as fast. Now this, if I'm in a situation where I have to keep one hand free, like I said, 1/4 inch diameter to 8 inch long. These things are nice. Okay? And this is engineered material. God, that's loud. We're going to cheat and use the drill to get that puppy out if we can. But I'm not doing this for a contest. I'm just showing you the differences in the materials that we actually use on the job site. Okay. To help you better make a decision on what you're going to want to use and what you're going to want to buy. Now I've got a 10 inch Timberlock galvanized. Okay. And this one here is 7/16, a little bit thicker. I already know the outcome of this one. But once again, I'm going to try to do this one sitting down, okay? Okay, one hand is sitting down. Okay. Oh, God, can't do that one-handed the way that I was holding my impact. Yeah, let's fix the camera for ankle here. Oh, dropped it. I dropped y'all. Look at that, me and my professional filming skill, okay? Yeah, good thing I don't shoot movies. But yeah, I can't do that one-handed, and I can't do it sitting down. Now I got to come up, brace my body, and get ready. I'm going to roll this thing back. I have my leg ready to help it. Now that was definitely two-handed. But it did it, and it did it probably did it right. But yeah, that's a little encumbersome. But I'm going to tell you one thing: for these brake fasteners, over 3/16, over 8 inches, the drill's going to probably want to be your tool, but you're going to want to make sure that you're in a position or you're safely secure so you can freely use two hands and your body to brace it. Okay, so now let's go with the impact gun on this one. I highly doubt the impact's going to actually drive this thing. And if it does, it's going to be slow as molasses. So these are not fasteners that really going to want to use the impact gun on unless you're going to use a automotive impact. The automotive impact will drive it, but really slow. So here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, one-handed. As you see, it's starting to cut out there. It's at its point. It's not sunk all the way down, but it was still one-handed. But it got pretty far. Now it's going to be a bit of a struggle from there out. Okay. So on the denser, heavier material and stuff like that, impact's not going to be great. For these things, they'll be perfectly fine and safe. Now, I'm going to take this puppy out. That's going into the engineered material, my friend. A lot denser, a lot harder, a lot more rigid. So you can now you're shooting the idea of why one tool might be better than that. But for small fasteners, cabinet making, anything related, like it's mostly pretty 6 inches, and if you're using Phillips Robertsons, this thing's gonna be better. And Phillips and Robertsons are cheaper. I use Robertsons because I'm Canadian. They're a lot cheaper. And they're the same strength, same shear force, same value in comparable size. So now we got that covered. Let's move over to a chunky yellow cedar. I'm going to try to reposition you guys so you can see this. There's my chunky yellow cedar. Let's move you guys over a little bit so you can actually see it. Now, this is a common piece of wood that we use in timber frames. Yellow cedar. A lot harder than red cedar, a lot harder than pine and that stuff. And we're going to go with the 10-inch. And we're going to start with the impact this time. Okay? Now, it all just comes down to your safety, your personal safety, and how much energy and force. Like you notice with the impact, I'm using a lot less of my body's energy, so I'm going to last longer throughout the day. I'm not going to be so tired. Plus, it's smaller, it's lighter, it's more compact. And trust me, when you're wearing a 60-pound tool pouch, every ounce that you add to it adds weight to your body that tires you out. So that big drill on your pouch every single day, you get tiring. Let's see, impact. One-handed, no effort, no force, saving my body. Remembering I'm wearing my hearing protection. Okay. Now on the big boy, I already know that impact's not going to put this into the cedar. I'm not even bother wasting your time with it. But yeah, this one here, you're going to want to use the drill. You're going to make sure that your body is secure and braced and ready for some torsional force. But anyways, here we go for drill boy at C0. Okay, speed low. Here, I'll put it just started in high and see what happens. Okay, we're going high. Let's get it in straight first. Okay. Okay, and speed high, yellow cedar. Nope. Can't even get it out. Okay. Here you go, team drill. In low, the right gear, right speed, putting a fair amount of pressure on it. God, I'm fighting that bastard. She's tough. Two hand definitely, and she needed some body, but she did it. So, but I know this thing does not do these ones into yellow cedar. It does not. So 8 inches, a 1/4 inch smaller, and for anything thicker than a 1/4 inch, you're only going to go up to 6 inches. And then when you have to pull this puppy out to use it, on the big fasteners, make sure you're braced Make sure your body's secured and be ready to use two hands, and make sure your body is secure and you're not going to fall. You're not going to teeter from the positions that you're in. But like I said, you don't always need the biggest best. How many of you guys are actually working with yellow cedar, engineered beams, and stuff like that? How many actually at home are using these? Barely any of you are going to ever see stuff like this and need to use fasteners of these size. So, got Aldro on YouTube showing you the newest, the fastest, the strongest, the best. You know what? The best tool is the best quality for the best price that gets the job done right. And with these impacts, as long as the impact can get enough torque to not put strain on or drill, impact or drill, and create enough torque in between 600 and 800 RPM without bogging down the motor or adding strain to the motor or increasing strain on the tool, it's going to be the best. But you're also going to want to go with the smallest, most compact tool that you can get. So it's lighter, easier to use and move around and work with. Like the M12s and using the smaller drills, smaller impact, are more than enough, because the rule of thumb, 600 to 800 RPM when you're driving fasteners over 4 inches long because of heat buildup. And I already went over this with you guys, why heat buildup in fasteners is bad. It makes a weak joint, makes a weaker fastener. Overall, a worse job. That connection is going to fail far sooner than a connection done at a lower RPM properly. When it comes to your light bolts, always make sure you drill pilot holes. If you have any fastener that is larger than 3/8, drill a pilot hole. Always. I don't care who says don't. Even timber lock screws, the big ones, the big nasty ones that are over 3/8, we've got special drill bits for drilling through our timbers. Make our pilot hole for those. But there you go. This is the reality of being in the construction on the job site, working with a heavier, harder material. Which tool you're going to own is going to be based on what materials you're working with, how often you're going to be using it, how much you're going to be carrying around. For 90% of the stuff that you're doing on the job site, an impact done, it's going to be far better because it's less weight, more compact, less fatigue. You don't have to put your whole entire body, get less energy used and exerted to operate it. You can do it one-handed, holding the drill loosely in your hand. The impact loosely in your hand. A drill is going to be used when you run into a really big fastener and you've got yourself braced and ready to go. So there is no winner on this one. Which one's better for what job? They both will do the job the same way. Both do it as equally. But the drill does have an upper hand advantage on the harder, denser material. But also working with these larger fasteners and denser materials with the drill does increase your risk of bodily harm and injury. So you have to be smart and be safe. But for the majority of you people out there, as long as you always remember to wear your hearing protection and your eye protection, impact, a good, affordable, lightweight impact is going to be good enough for you. Or a small, compact, lightweight drill. There is no actual real winner because one does one thing better and the other one does one thing better. So the impact, less cam out, less chance of damaging the fastener, more control over the fastener, lighter, more compact. The drill, a little bit more gur torque and a little bit more rip'ems on the high torque. They do have higher RPM on the torque. Like it does not slow down as much as the impact does and does not struggle as much. So there's its advantage. But it's all going to be down to what you want, your choices, and what you want to do in your life. So there's some information for you guys. Take from it what you want. But this is a little bit more real world testing in materials that are actually used on the job sites daily. But majority of you guys will never have to work with material like this anyway. So hope this gives you a little bit more information. Cheers. Catch you all on the flip side. Hi. Hi. You want to go have a week? Let's go.